Hello to everyone who is or is not watching. Welcome to Mrs. Best Reviews. We are here to go over Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Season 11, Episode 4. We are here with James from Watch Your Mouth Reviews.
Yo, yo.
We welcome him in thy fresh lineup. Doesn't his haircut look great? I love it. Um,
Thank you.
anywho, we're just gonna jump right into it. Just for everybody watching, I know I looked up from the flow up today. My friends' moms got me lit on the 4th of July. It was unexpected, so I am a little like out of it, but that's okay. And my husband was with me, so please excuse the loud snoring in the background. But getting into this episode, as it begins, we once again see all the people working on stuff. And I think we got a small clip, a very small clip. Was that Jessica White, who was with Bambi singing at the very beginning of the episode?
Yeah, it looks like her, but the problem is that they focused right off of her. I didn't hear the notes she's saying. I didn't hear anything. It was a quick edit. So, Love and Hip Hop, if y'all be MTV in the call center, if y'all being messy right now, just because y'all watched our little YouTube and we said we didn't hear this girl sing a note, that wasn't what we was looking for. That's not what we was talking about.
It was
That's
a
very
half a
clear.
millisecond of a note.
Yes. I did not say that. I said I want to see a full octave. I want to see an E to an H. I want to see a whole line of a song. I don't want to see a little snippet to where we think she got talent, but she really don't. She needs
Damn.
to model. That is what I'm gonna say, and I'm not gonna say it anymore. That a young lady needs to model. She is beautiful. But I don't want to talk about her singing because I don't believe it. Sorry.
I agree. I definitely agree. Apologize, I was muted. I definitely agree. So moving on from that scene, we start basically the show with Erica Banks. She's performing. It looks like some sort of promo video at the South by Southwest. Uh, Amy and Chaotic are there. A lot of this scene was a whole lot of nothing. It seems like they're just trying to get us acclimated and help us get to know Erica Banks and Amy Luciani and Chaotic. They seem to be putting the new people in a bunch of scenes together. So I definitely got that. What I will say is these South by Southwest performances, I don't know if Love and Hip Hop was not, if the cameras and production was not allowed on the actual stage, because South by Southwest is a big youth festival. There is an actual stage with a huge crowd, and every scene we saw, including the performances at the end, which we'll get to, were basically kind of like the little BT, sound stages for the ciphers, for the upcoming rappers people don't quite know yet. So I was kind of like, this is different, but we'll get back to that. Anywho, moving it along, I did notice that Amy and Chaotic seem to be like unusually flirty. Like I understand being friends, like most of my friends are men, but I'm like, I don't I don't get it. You guys are friends. He's supposed to be interested in Erica Banks, but whenever she's not around, y'all flirting and cupcake. And I really just did not understand it. So that kind of bothered me. So I'm gonna move on because I don't think that scene was worth discussing. So we fast forward to the next scene, which is Rashida pulling up to Carly's house, which was interesting. Mita, is it Mita or Mina? Hmm? You're muted. He said, "Oh."
So I have a quick sorry, it's my bad. So Mita with a T.
Okay, I was like, I don't know her name. The subtitles, Carly, and everybody would say it's something different. But Mita's there, and basically Carly's attempting to explain herself for the situation that happened with Spice in the house that she bought. So what we get from it is Carly says that she originally intended to buy land in the same neighborhood. I guess that she didn't end up buying the land and then ended up purchasing the house that is across the street from Spice. So she says she did not speak to Spice about buying this house. But when they had the conversation about Spice not wanting to live by her, it was because Carly at that time was inquiring to purchase the land. This
Right.
was in September of 2020. Carly moves into this house. It starts the paperwork for it. They say in December, she's in the house in February. Or no, Spice moved in December, and then Carly was in the other house in February. So basically, what I got from this, and Carly done called her realtor and all this other stuff, which I'll get into also. But what I got from it in the situation pertaining to the house is the neighborhood originally was sought after and found by Carly. And then Spice later decided, oh, I'm going to live here. And then Carly's like, I'm coming back to live here. And Spice is like, I don't want you to. So Spice, your bullshit got called out, no matter how anybody feels about Carly Red and her messy, tumultuous history. She produced with receipts and a witness, even though the witnesses are so credible, but she produced with receipts and a witness. This is true. I'm the one who was originally going to buy land. Now, people online and Instagram are saying Rashida owns property and land and she knows about this. Yes. Carly, the key word was, meaning she did not purchase the land or do anything with that. So the neighborhood in the first place was found by Carly. So Carly was already interested in this neighborhood. So whether the house was across the street, around the corner, or down the block, Spice wouldn't know about her house, likely, if Carly knew about it first. So if people want to get into semantics and go tit for tat for that, it's not so stalkerish and Karenish if you've been known about the neighborhood and were attempting to purchase it. So just on that specific issue, I'd like to get your opinion.
At first, when I was watching, because I watched this episode twice, the first time I watched it, I thought Carly was lying. And the reason why I'm saying she, like, because she got so defensive and her was doing the hugest dramatics I've ever seen a person doing reality TV as she normally does. However, when I thought about it, and when I thought about, like, because they said the house wasn't built yet, right? If I'm not mistaken. So I felt like she inquired on the land because she said she was paid $100,000 to move in the land to buy the home. So when companies do that, it's because they know that you're going to film in this land, and they know, and I think they offered Spice the same thing. It's alleged. I can't prove it, but I think they offered Spice the same thing. That puts their community on a pedestal because it's getting seen on a syndicated network. It's marketing. So I think Carly found the marketing, and I felt like the only reason why she bought the house, Spice bought the house first, is because she inquired on it first. But I think Carly initially found the land and the deal, and they probably asked her, "Is there any friends you could recommend that are looking to buy a house that may be on the same network as you?" And she probably threw out Spice's name. She probably threw out a lot of names, but Spice made the purchase. Carly made the purchase. So yeah, I don't think it's that stalkerish, but there are companies who do that pay you or knock $100,000 off your price of the home so you can move into that neighborhood and film in that location.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
what I think happened.
absolutely agree. We have to remember that these people are reality television celebrities. So what that means is oftentimes when you're in reality TV or in influence content creators like us, when you get to a certain point of relevance, companies from realtors, contractors, grocery stores, cater, like you name it, they're coming to you and they want to pay you to do a service for you because they know the audience and the people that are going to see you. So that absolutely is a point that I think a lot of people forget about. People just be so wrapped up in, oh my God, no, Carly's this way, Carly's that way. No. The other point I think that's very important that matches yours is the fact that oftentimes, especially in Atlanta, if you peep, celebrities, people who are well known, reality TV stars are living in the same neighborhoods because these are the neighborhoods that come with security and cameras, armed securities, good schools for their children. These are the neighborhoods where people of a certain income wind up. So it's not far-fetched that Spice and Carly would live near each other. Not everybody wanted to do like Rashida and Kirk and go buy land somewhere out in the sticks, okay, away from the rest of civilization. For those who want to live within a gated community and feel safe, they're going to end up in communities that are similar, especially in a place like Atlanta where there's so many people of relevance living. Hell, Tyler Perry's there. So, to me, it's just petty and stupid. At the end of the day, I don't think Carly's a stalker, but we'll get into that. So moving on from that, uh, Carly informs Rashida as if she has to explain something to fucking Rashida. Number one, she's
Oh.
explaining to Rashida that she's also going through things, and that's why. Which what I got from that, Carly says her grandmother died, and she also says that her mother is sick and could potentially pass away. She also, at the same time, is dealing with her daughter who has a new baby coming, and it seems like she's trying to be close to her family. And it seems like Carly's been going through something emotionally for a couple of, honestly, years, in my personal opinion. So when Carly tells this to Rashida, Rashida's like, "What that got to do with any of this?" But sorry, the way that this cast treats her. Like, I understand y'all gonna treat her a certain way because TV and everyone's like, "Oh, messy Carly Red, messy this." But when someone says this person's passing away, that's fucked up. If you're just like, okay, and what that got to do with this situation? Rashida, really? Really? What did Kirk's mom or dad dying a couple seasons ago have to fucking do with the fact that he cheated on you? What that have to do with nothing? You use that as an excuse to get right the fuck back with him. So, in my opinion, people need to just stop talking to her. I don't know what's going on with Rashida. I know that her and Kirk don't know how to run a business because they had like 1 star on Yelp when their little Frost Bistro was open some years ago. Uh,
Not
you
to
know,
mention the what was it 2 seasons ago where her son's girlfriend and the sister fought up in the place on like the grand opening or something like that.
right.
I'm like, to me, this is how I felt. I'm gonna say this because I don't like Carly either. I don't. I just felt like at some point when you didn't reach 55, you need to cut this shit out and go and do something different. We're tired of looking at you. I get this is steady income, and I'm sure you guys got a nice contract with MTV. I'm pretty sure of it. However, I want to see, I expect better for somebody who has spent the last 12 years on this show. I expect better for you, and I expect that you would have elevated into something different, something where you would have invested better so that way you don't have to come on this show and have these people ridicule because they can't see past who you were in 2011 when the show started. To me, it's just so ridiculous
I'm gonna
at
say
this
this.
point.
I think the cast is slightly intimidated by Carly because while people have always been like messy Carly Red, it's always been just kind of a light, fun shade in certain situations. It's never gotten to the point it has in recent. It seems like since she had the issue with Sierra a couple seasons back, that people
Yeah.
have just really come at her in a way that's not okay.
Which to me, I felt like unless production was bullshitting, she tried to get to Sierra. Sierra got mad on her own account because she could have looked back on the show and saw that Carly was really trying to get
Well,
to you.
Sierra also ended up doing Carly wrong, having her little ratchet ass people attack her. She could say she didn't, but we know what's up. Stop playing.
But
Uh,
here's my thing about Rashida, because I don't want to escape part. Rashida, you could have jumped your ass on a plane the same way Carly did. It can't be that many hospitals in the Dominican Republic that would have
Rashida,
taken her.
Rashida, for me, is so and has been and is connected to a lot of people. I think Rashida knew where Spice was and is choosing not to.
So you think that she knew where she
I
was, but
think she
wanted to
knew how
blame
to get to
Carly,
her and or knew
so
how
that
to find Carly, but chose not to.
but
And
chose not to
instead of
go?
looking bad, but
Mm,
coming back on the TV after the network change, she's going to do what she heard other people saying. Oh, which it seems
makes
like
sense.
China really did try to inquire, but couldn't find out, but found out that Carly knew where she was. I think that Rashida's leaning in on that, especially because Rashida has a relationship with Shekinah prior to her being on the show and outside of the show. So I think that Rashida is desperate to look relevant and to have something discussed other than her marriage too, which I completely understand because it's a damn mess and an embarrassment of the foundation of marriage. Her,
No, baby, there's people on Instagram that idolizes Kirk and Rashida, and
the
that
people
they're
on
a wonderful
Instagram who
couple.
idolize Kirk and Rashida are what I call comment bandits. I don't really comment too much on these Instagram posts, but if you go look in the comments on a lot of these posts, you have people who are nobody literally so invested in this as if it's their life commenting. If you're idolizing Rashida and Kirk, That's on you. You guys can be with the men who like to cheat and make babies on you and stuff because the normal people, we don't want them motherfuckers. So y'all can have them. Let them idolize Rashida and Kirk. The people who actually understand the importance of them, and that comes with people and yourself respecting yourself. We don't want what Rashida and Kirk have. There's no way in hell I'd forgive anybody who, you can't make a baby on me. You can't cheat on me that many times either. I'm gone. It's never be embarrassed for cheating. In the Rashida's case, it's embarrassing because she stays and then she tries to offer and solicit advice to others as if her shit doesn't stink worse than most of everyone on the show. It's bad. It's really bad. But I didn't like how she kind of ignored Carly's pain, her mom dying, and all this other. That was, come on,
I didn't
Rashida.
like that either, but then I also don't like the fact that you couldn't really explain what you were really mad at when everybody has the same story. Where was Spice? We couldn't get to Spice. It's like everybody has that same story. So what were you mad at? Were you mad that Carly got to her first, or were you mad that Carly did do it and it made all y'all look stupid because y'all didn't want to get on the plane and go to it?
Bingo. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's
Yes.
different for each person. I don't
Mhm.
think
'Cause Shekinah and Rashida and everybody, y'all could have easily
you
got
guys
on the
have
plane the
the
same
means
way.
to
I feel
figure
like Rashida has more money than Carly, and I don't know why she didn't get on the plane.
it out.
So, to me, I'm sorry. No, 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 no. I don't know if I can't say it was a money issue, but it was certainly, it made y'all look crazy, the fact that Carly got on the plane and saw about her, and y'all didn't. Y'all knew y'all were coming back to film the show. Something the foot with that. I don't
That's what
know.
it's giving, and how everyone else is trying to make it like, oh, Carly and Mita are doing this for the press and that for the press and this. Personally, y'all look shady, and they say maybe sometimes the person who's accusing everyone else is the one who, like what they used to say in school with farting, whoever smelt it dealt it.
Dealt it. Yep,
It's the
exactly.
same shit happening with these ladies. So I just felt like that scene was ugh. I don't understand what Rashida's purpose is, but honey, if you want to get the focus off of your marriage, do it in a way that's genuine, be involved and stuff in the drama, because Rashida hasn't really
No,
been
I
involved
want
with
to
the other
see.
women for
You know what
seasons.
she should have did? She should have did what Rashida Ali did, which was confuse everybody and become somebody's manager.
Mm.
I feel like that would have sold better for us not to focus on Kurt
Hmm.
if she would have did what Rashida Ali did all over Hip Hop New York, which is manage a whole girl group or something and watch the demise of that shit fuck up. Because I'm telling you, we knew Rashida Ali to be the stiletto expert. When the hell she started managing people? So that shit was a shocker. And we tuned in every week to make sure we saw how that was gonna go. Rashida could have did that same shit. I'm tired of giving reality TV stars ideas, and then you know, MTV and Bravo and them call centers want to act like they just thought of them ideas on their own.
No, I honestly agree. But she should have done something because this isn't working. Rashida spent seasons not really bonding with these women on a deep note because she was going through the same shit with Kurt. So to suddenly come into it and then be trying to be messy in something that's so vital and important, if they really did have a friendship, it just bothers me. But moving on from that scene, we go back to South by Southwest, which we kept going throughout the show. And Erica Mena, for some reason, comes to see Erica Banks. Um, Erica tells her she's going to see Scrap perform. And the only thing I could think in my head is, why the fuck is it okay for yo crazy one vein having ass to go and see Scrap perform and have a friendship with him? But Bambi's going off on Chaotic and all these people who are doing anything to support or see Scrap. But for Erica Mena, it's okay. That to me is very strange. That to me is very, very strange. The other thing that happens is Chaotic ends up telling Erica Mena what Mama D said. Uh, Here's my thing. Mama D never officially said that Diamond was pregnant. Mama D said that Diamond's been talking about missing her period, which obviously it's her insinuating to it. But my thing is, everybody knows Mama D is messy. Everyone knows that it's actual real drama and actually truly impacts them in real life, Scrappy and his mother, if you think of nothing else. So why the hell are y'all going and repeating it? Like, it's giving that this is for the show. Stop. It's tacky. It doesn't look good. Chaotic wasn't like this on Love and Hip Hop Miami. I'm like, what is this?
I think that that's why I don't recognize him. I think that that is the reason why I don't remember him, because I don't remember, this Soldier Boy esque dude doing all of this on Love and Hip Hop Miami. I don't remember all of this, and I'm gonna say this about the whole Diamond thing. First off, anybody who takes Mama D seriously, and you might as well just go ahead and check into the institution with her, because she doesn't live in reality. She lives in a palace. Remember, she's Queen Elizabeth and
The
Scrappy is Prince
palace is
William.
her reality,
Yeah,
and
that is her reality.
nobody
She
knows.
is the queen of, and it's a two-bedroom apartment. Like, she is the queen, and she has a driver in the Cadillac. What is it? I almost said a Mercury Sable. Looking at me.
Not a
The
Mercury
Yeah,
Sable.
Cadillac DeVille, the very long one. She is the. That's what we see when we think of Mama D. So y'all really took this diamond thing and really
That's why I
ran
was
with
like,
it as
why
if it
are
was
you
like,
repeating it?
really? And
Mama
for
D
Erica,
said
and
it.
for Erica, be like, I want to have a conversation with Scrap first before I take it to Bam, because if it's not true, then why take it to Bam? So what you think you doing on national TV talking about it is going to do when Bambi sees the shit?
Erica has no choice but to tell Bambi because
Yes, you
Erica
already said
has
it. It's
is
like,
friends with Bambi. But that's why I was like, why chaotic?
to me, and that's why I'm saying, see, this is gonna make me side with Bambi, and I don't want to side with Bambi. This is leading me to side with her, and I don't want to. This is gonna be crazy as hell. We get 4 episodes into this, and I'm siding with Bambi.
You're gonna have to side with Bambi in this situation because people repeating stuff that Mama D is saying about Scrap. But here's the thing: Bambi chose to file for divorce, so now that's not your mother-in-law. She can say what the fuck she wants.
Oh no, that's still another on to the ink is on the paper, the
But
divorce degree.
the way that moms think, I, I'm
To
listen.
me,
If
I
Scrap
don't
didn't
believe
check that,
Diamond is pregnant. We were just looking at Diamond. We know she's not
she's
pregnant.
not pregnant. But my
But
thing is, if Scrap couldn't check Mama D with Eric Dixon when he was with Diamond, and now when he's with Bambi, like if Scrap could not, even when he was with Shay and Mama D loved Shay, he could not keep Mama D out of his business. He is not man
first of
enough
all,
to put his mama in her place. So to me, I just feel like it's he's not it's telling anybody is kind of stupid. It's like a worthless battle. Part of the reason they're going through their divorce and stuff is because of the issues with his mother's behavior. So it's just like an ongoing thing. What I don't like about this show that I want to say is I wish that when people are actually fucking divorcing, like whether the ink is dry or not, stop affiliating these people and trying to make them like, do you want to fight for your love? Do you want to like, which we'll get to later, like just let them be. Once a couple start breaking up, I feel like everybody need to just leave it alone and let the drama play out on camera as it will with Bambi and them all on their own. But all these extra people involved, like, please, please just stop. So we gonna move it along to Sierra. Y'all know this girl. She irks my soul. I never liked her being added to the show. I never understood it. I just didn't. But Sierra, as we know, has told us that she's going to be moving out. She wants to plan an escape, as she calls it. She says she's been mentally and emotionally abused, which we found out was, of course, bullshit. And I'm tired of Sierra trying to play a victim. She obviously went through something in her marriage. It takes two for a relationship to function. It takes two for a relationship to fail, in my opinion. But I'm just tired. So her mom and her friends are there. I guess now her mom is magically sober and not having any more struggles since the last season. And she tells her family that she's married. And the reason that she married Eric was that she felt alone because her and her family went on vacation to Tulum, Mexico. And somehow, through looking at the beautiful Pacific Ocean and the Mayan temples, they got into an argument. Uh, she felt alone after the argument. And she says that that is the reason that she married Eric. Bitch, you just prove you dumb in every single season in some way. You married Eric because you had an argument with your family when your storyline last season was arguments and issues with your family. When since you've come on this show, you've discussed arguments and issues with your family. So now suddenly this was the argument that pushed you into a marriage? Girl, bye. I don't know why she married him, but I don't think she married him
It was
because
for a storyline to make sure she
thank you.
had a peach this season. I'm not buying that damn
Previous
well.
season, y'all was breaking up, you gave back a ring. Now
Now,
suddenly
all of a
you're
sudden, you
popping
got
up,
a whole marriage
you
certificate
got a
now.
whole marriage certificate, and
Like,
then
that's so stupid to me. First off, I don't Venmo believe that shit. I believe you married him because you wanted to make sure you had a storyline, and the storyline is we about to file for divorce because he ended up
what
being not what I
happened to
thought.
the glam shop? Show us something in there. Is it still
It
operating?
just makes me feel like you had nothing else to do. And MTV was like, okay, we're gonna cut you. No, 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 no. I'm about to get married to this man, and we about to, fake like we're gonna get a divorce or whatever. And that's it. Like it's just like that is so recycled and so stupid. I didn't feel bad for her at all. I was looking at that scene and just rolling my eyes and
I
crimping my
felt
lips.
pissed off watching it because you
Here you
said
go.
there it claimed emotional abuse, and then we find out when Eric comes in, we get a reminder that the only reason you're in the house that you're trying to run away from is because you threw a fucking literal bitch fit about getting this house that he was concerned about didn't afford. He said in a previous season he wanted to wait till you guys were in a better place in your relationship. You get the house and then you don't want to dip out. Now he's left, as he says, with a $10,000 mortgage because apparently, obviously, it must be in his name. Then he says that she has been cheating on him with multiple rappers and stuff, and he found this information out with her from her sister, which she could not deny. That she admits that she cheated as well, and the family brought up him potentially cheating because he received, as her mother called them, pussy pictures. Now, Sierra admitted all the stuff that she was accused of, but then she says in her confessional that Eric lied about his business and about multiple women. And when he confronted her on the cheating, she's like, yeah, but who started it? Who did it first? Men, women, to all involved. Stop. Like, Sierra went from this shooter guy from the first season she was on Love and Hip Hop and immediately began dating and talking to other people. I can't remember his name, B something.
Oh yeah.
Remember, she was with him and then they ended up engaged at a negative
I
point.
forgot his
Then
name.
she
Yeah.
left him and got with Eric. And the guy that she dated said that she was cheating on him with Eric. Then she claimed Eric cheated on her, so she cheated on him. And then through that, she decided to marry him. MTV, VH1 didn't listen to us. Please get rid of Sierra and her lashes that never look right. Please get rid of Sierra. I'm tired of it, from the drama she has with the other women to her storyline. I'm just done with it. And I think at this point, she's a terrible example of an individual dating. There's been no growth with this woman since the moment she came on the show to now, in my opinion. This is just an opinion. So I would love it if MTV would just get rid of Sierra, because I don't care. She came on here talking about she's emotionally and mentally abused for things that she's doing to him as well. That's an insult to people who have actually
So
been emotionally and mentally and physically abused. You talking about you need to plan an escape. It's offensive to say that when I know women I've helped escape. I have a friend, I literally helped her escape to an actual domestic violence shelter. And you're sitting up here crying wolf talking about you had to fucking escape. No, no, like they need to just get rid of her or have her, like, put her in therapy, be like, maybe you could see a therapist or something. She needs, only thing I want to see if she stays on the show is her in therapy. Other than that, I don't care to see Sierra anymore. You James, let's get your feedback on that scene.
um so I'm gonna say two things. One, I'm not gonna negate Eric from this either because there was, mentions of him mistreating her son, and
No, he's still wrong. I'm
yeah,
not,
he's still wrong. I don't
I'm
want us
just
to.
saying, she's
I'm just
saying
saying for the viewer's standpoint because they're
they're
gonna
both
throw that.
wrong.
they're
They're
gonna
equally
throw that
bad.
back on you about, well, he did this, he did that. We're not negating that. So I don't
Mhm.
want people to feel like in these comments and her viewer and my girl's viewership, because I'm very like that's my girl. So I want y'all to understand something. We are not saying that Eric is absolved from any responsibility here when we're trying to put blame on Sierra. Where this is just Sierra's turn. Because I think we went in on him the last video.
Oh no, the
So
stuff that Eric is doing, especially with the kids, that's like
that's trash.
but
Absolutely.
she also, this showed us that she's been playing a sole victim when she also has a percentage in the
Yes, and
damage.
that's what I'm getting to that. So
Yeah.
now that but I just want to make sure we're not just putting all the responsibility on her. They know it takes two, as Amina said. But what I'm going to say is this: I'm not absolving him from any responsibility, but Sierra has had a history of picking bullshit ass men that have cheated right in front of her. Like she's mentioned, Mariah from their first season on there was that girl's assistant that Shooter was having an affair with. And we're just gonna forget like how that situation happened. And then the Beijing B whatever that dude's name is, we saw what happened with that situation. So she is known to pick dudes who ain't shit but want to be this victim. It's like, you need to do the work on yourself. You need to be in somebody's therapy office to figure out why you pick these kind of men who one have cheating tendencies, why you felt like you needed to get him back by cheating on him as well. And then when the shit didn't phase him like you thought it was going to, now you need to leave. That is so crazy to me. That is crazy to me how people think, oh, well, I'm going to try to beat them at their own game. And then when it doesn't affect them, now you want to cry victim. Now you want to say he's abusive. Now you want to say this. It's like, no, 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 no. You knew this week before you married them. That was the reason why y'all broke up in the first place, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if if we're supposed to believe this Sierra, which I don't, I believe both of y'all equally did the same shit. He's wrong for the kid thing, but I think when it comes to you two as a collective, y'all both are wrong.
Mm.
And I want you to stop perpetrating on this show and making it seem like you are just so drawn and this, martyred ass woman when the truth and reality is you're causing all of these issues by picking these ancient ass
I
men.
think people tend to put this narrative, especially on shows like Love and Hip Hop. The women on here are like, I'm a boss, and it's so hard finding love when you're a boss. It's hard in general to date. So
It's hard and yeah, it's about to say
I
it's
think
hard
the
to find
best
love.
thing they need to do, if since you're a boss and can afford it, get a therapist, a life coach, a spiritual healer, whatever you have to do, but address you and ensure that you're working on yourself as well, because I guarantee it'll be a lot easier to find someone
Because
once
a
they
lot of the
transition.
times, yeah, you boss women that one day boss man. A lot of times, y'all in y'all own way, and y'all don't even know
Mhm.
it.
Yep, they
Y'all
don't
in
even
your own
know it.
way, and you don't even know it. Because the problem is that you're thinking that when you find these men and they have all this bullshit and all these problems, that oh my god, he told me he was this. Well, what did I say about you? Because you picked him.
Yeah. At this point, also, I think it's important for viewers to remember when watching Sierra and Eric, this marriage is done. It's irreparable. And when that happens, and when it's so fresh, and then it's happening on camera, the things that they are saying on camera are likely true about each other. We're seeing that. And then, two, the things that they are saying on camera are to try and tear down and ruin the image of the other because they're in a place of hurt. So it's just important to remember that that's happens. People say you find out how a motherfucker really is when you break up. And it's not just a regular breakup for you people sitting up here with common law stuff. When you divorce somebody and there's paperwork involved, okay, you really, really find out who the hell you were really with. And sometimes you don't know because you're not going to know how they are until you are at that point. But
Which is why it kills me when people are like, "Oh my god, you didn't even know him that long to even." And it's like, you know what? Let me explain something to you. Because I think it was Khloe Kardashian who said this, and it was the realest shit.
mm,
You could be with somebody for a month, and you could be with somebody for 10 years, and you still don't even know them.
yeah,
Once
that's
y'all
true.
married, you still don't even know them. So
Yeah,
I would rather have taken my chances based on what I like so far than to be with somebody 10 years later and then I'm seeing some unrecognizable shit and I'm like, damn, I was with you for 10 years and I'm just now seeing this. It
yeah,
happens.
it does.
So that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, when you get to know somebody, go into it with understanding you're never going to know all of them.
Yeah,
You are
absolutely.
never gonna
I've
know
been with
all
my
of it.
spouse 15 years now, and we're still learning a
You're
lot
still learning things
about each
about
other.
each other. That's why I'm saying
Yeah.
people like, you gotta get to know
Mhm.
people. It's like sometimes that's not true. Sometimes
Mhm.
people only want you to get to know what they feel comfortable with sharing.
Hmm.
So I'm sorry, I can't agree with that. Like I tell people all the time, I don't agree with that logic that you need to get to know somebody for a amount of years. I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
not
like take
always
the
gonna work.
chance
Yeah.
and yeah, take the chance. And if it doesn't work, have an escape route. That's all you have. That's what you got to do. Like if it doesn't work,
Yeah. Getting
yeah,
some wisdom from James
yeah. It's
Jackson.
like
But
that's how you do it. Like
that's pretty much it that happened with Sierra. So I will move it along from
yeah,
there onto the gender reveal. So Carly Red's daughter, Jasmine, is pregnant, her little boo thing, and she's gonna have a gender reveal. Carly puts it together. Safari shows up, what to me came off as trying to throw low-key shade. There's nobody here, and yada yada yada. Okay, yes, there's no one there. You're at the gender reveal, you're there, just behave. And we get this weird interaction with him and Jessica White. Jessica White immediately says when she meets Safari, I'm friends with your wife. And I'm like, what's wrong with this? Is she a dingbat? They're not married anymore. The divorce is final. She was literally on camera last season. My divorce is final. Like, how do you not know? If you're coming on the show, you didn't think to at least watch the season prior. I'm sick of Jessica White and I don't get it. Then they go on and Safari comments on that. And then Jessica gets into, I was with someone famous. I'm like, here we fucking go. This woman cannot meet a single person without letting them know that she was in a polyamorous relationship with Nick Cannon. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with that, but I'm like, if you're a model and you're known in your own regard, why do you feel the need with every person that you've met to bring up your relationship? If someone asks, are you single? I'm single. Yes. You're bringing up a relationship that I don't remember seeing them together, but y'all were together 8 years. But it comes up
hey,
all the
I
time.
don't. Uh, Let
Why?
me interrupt you for a minute. I don't be. I told you, and I'm gonna say this every damn video. I don't Venmo believe that girls with no goddamn Nick Cannon for no 8 fucking years. She may have been with him for 9 months to tell him to take to make that damn baby shit.
Somebody called Mariah because
Yes, I need to know at what point because we never. First of all, nobody's ever heard of you. And this is the first time we are seeing your fucking ass. I am so sick of her trying to name drop her baby daddy as if that really is a fucking flex. Now that we're here,
you
because
know,
there are 7 of you. There are 7 of you. This man has 12 children. There are 7.
and then the producers asked a great question because Safari is good friends with Nick Cannon and was like, I didn't know you were with him for 8 years. Crack it up. And the producers asked Jessica White in a little confessional. They say, so if you were with Nick for 8 years and Safari's partners with him, how come Safari never met you or never heard of you? She's a, you have to ask Nick. Well, if that's going to be the case when stuff comes up and you're not going to dive deeper into the type of relationship that you had, then stop fucking talking about it, Jessica, and just strut
As
down
I
the
said,
runway.
it was
Just strut.
given. It was given. Ain't no fucking 8 years that y'all have been committed to each other. There was no 8 years. We're not. Jessica. I'm sorry. You're a beautiful woman. I don't like to talk down upon you right now in this given moment. But when you put fuck shit in my face, I'm sorry. I got to call it for what I see. This does not make sense for you to bring it up on national TV when two or one of his closest friends is actually on the show. Never even heard of you, never known y'all were together, didn't even know you is his fucking baby mama. But we're supposed to believe you had an 8-year relationship while he was still married to the ultra famous Mariah Carey at the time, because they didn't divorce until 2015. So I'm trying to figure out in these 8 years are you talking about? Because it was just it was the last 3 years he has had baby after baby after baby after baby with kids he don't even know the birth date and half of the fucking names. So are you mean to tell me that this is really
And
something you're
then
gonna
the
just
other
run with?
thing that bothers me is now she's start openly saying in these episodes, I was in a polyamorous relationship where he was allowed to be with other people, but I was not. right?
Y'all, let me
So,
tell
but
y'all.
then you try to paint the picture as if the reason you left the relationship was because you had a miscarriage and he went off and got somebody else pregnant. But that's what happens when you're in a polyamorous relationship.
Right. It's like if
He
you
can
knew
deal
this
with other
firsthand.
people and you can't, and you agree to it.
My thing is this, girl, just say we were sister wives. I knew about all these other women, and then that's just what it
Stop
was.
it. Now that's
Like,
illegal. I'm convinced that polyamory is just like a term so that people can get away because it still is illegal to have sister wives and all of this. But if you just have a bunch of girlfriends, not illegal.
well, I'm not saying in terms he's legally marrying these women. What
No,
I'm
I know,
saying
but I'm
is,
just like the
like,
polyamory stuff just to me seems like just a way to do
because you
the
can't, because I guarantee you she's still sleeping with him. Allegedly. Allegedly. I guarantee you that hasn't stopped.
well,
So,
let us move on because honestly, it kind of gives that. If you're talking about somebody like that, like to that extent, they're
to that
in you.
extent, yeah,
They're in you.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what it gives. It gives that you still messing with him, and you want him to choose you
Yeah.
ultimately,
Yeah.
and he's not going to choose you
He's
because
not
he's
going
still
to.
trying to plan out having future babies.
So further into further into the event, Carly Red eventually comes into the event. She does say in her confessional because she starts crying when she comes into the event. She's like, "No one checks on me. No one cares when I have things going on." And honestly, if you look at the history of the show, yes, Carly's been messy, but she does seem to be there for a lot of these cast members off camera. And I have noticed no one checks on her. No one ever brings up the fact that, well, maybe she's doing this because she's going through something. No, it's, oh, stalker Karen giving this vibes. No one ever seems to care about Carly to check on her. And Carly hasn't done anything to any of these people that's so deep for them to feel that way.
I agree.
Most of it with this current cast, maybe back in the original days with the OGs, Jocelyn and Erica and all of that, there were things that Carly actually played a part in negatively. But when it comes to the current cast that's on the show now, Carly Red has not done anything to these people. Everything they've gotten mad about, oh, well, I heard, and with you being messy and all, but she hasn't done anything to any of these cast members. And that's why I'm looking at them all like some crazy bullies. But she comes in, she says this. Rennie Rucci, God bless her sweetheart, is the only person in the party who consoles Carly. And Rennie spoke facts and said exactly what I think most of us were thinking. Why the fuck would you come to this woman's her daughter? I don't care about your relationships with Jasmine. That's her blood. Why would you show up to her daughter's gender reveal that she is hosting? If you was just going to be there talking about her, getting into arguments about her, having a beef with her, and entirely ignoring her. And to Carly's credit, because normally she would have done more, I could tell that she kept it cool. She had her breakdown, accepted Rennie gave her to feel better, and she moved on and she kept it about her daughter. Meanwhile, while Rashida's trying to judge Carly's behavior on some bullshit because she don't have shit to talk about outside of her husband making babies and cheating on her and her business having 1 star on Yelp and Google. She decides that she's going to focus on Carly Red. I'm looking at y'all like, y'all really at this woman's child's event, her family off of the show. You're really at her family's event and you don't like her. If that was the case and you guys love Jasmine so much, I'm sorry, I'm not in the best place with your mom. And I know it's not going to work well, especially with cameras there. Send a fucking gift on camera. Send a gift on camera. There's no reason y'all should have went. As Rennie Rucci said, y'all should have stayed your ass home. Youngest person in the room. Only one with common sense.
Right. Terrible.
And that's, it just disgusted me. So with them coming, I was irritated. We do see Spice and Mita speak. Spice, I don't want to go in on Spice again because I did last week. But
No, go in. I give you full permission because
listen, you
it's
blue smurf,
stupid.
we need to figure out. I don't get it. Maybe we need to put her and her BBL, the bloated booty,
No, it's
onto
getting
the ocean so that she could float on into the abyss and have time to reflect. Because what are you doing? You're talking to Mita and you're literally saying to Mita verbatim, you're mad because Mita is kicking it with Carly while you're not cool with
yeah,
Carly.
like, okay, here's the thing. I said this in the last video, and I'm going to say this again. Spice, what exactly are you mad at right now with Carly? What the fuck is your problem? Like, it does not
It's
make
Spice, we see you in
sense.
the IG comments trying
We
to
do.
defend yourself. It does not make sense. It's none
The
of it
truth
makes
doesn't
sense,
need
Spice.
defending. It means it's given you don't know what the fuck to be mad at, but you need
She
to be
has
mad on this
nothing
show.
to be
You
she has nothing to be mad at.
My
She's
thing is this: if one of like let's say somebody I don't mess with from our childhood, I was in the hospital and they showed up and you're there, I know you're not going to turn them away because they know me. I'm not going to get mad at you for hanging out with her outside of that if y'all were to happen to be connect on my behalf. I'm not going to get mad at you, and then I'm not going to be mad at her because at the end of the day, she didn't have to show up. We would just have to figure out how we can move in the same
There
space
are
again.
people, and me and James have known each other for a very long time, since high
Yes.
school. We're coming up on damn near 20 years. There are people that he knows that I don't fuck with.
Hmm.
I don't care. I don't fuck with them. Me. I have me. So as long as you're not telling them my business, which I know he's not, like, I don't really care. You can hang out with who you hang out with.
Right, and it's vice versa because it's the same thing with her. There's people that I don't mess with that I wouldn't say she's necessarily friends with, but I know that she would not turn them away if they were to come in her face. So it's just like at the same time, it's like we not tripping like
And
that. We're
Spice,
really
you
friends.
just met Mita not long ago. And part of the way you know Mita is through Jock, as we found out from previous seasons.
Yeah,
Mita came
and that
on
was
the
messy.
show in a shady way because of having a history of sleeping with Jock. So for you to get mad at Mita for staying friends with Carly when you stayed friends with Mita despite your friendship with Kendra
Yeah,
and Jock, Spice, you should have came up with a better lie. I thought that God gave you a second chance, and this is the shit that you choose to do with it. Girl, bye. You disgrace at this point, because it's like if it's for a storyline and you actually almost died, this isn't like the rest of the cast who have like fucked up marriages and simple like storylines that we see. Like you legit almost died, and you come back and you choose to have a beef on camera with the two people who showed the fuck up for you from the cast, made no excuses. Let's talk about the fact that Carly and Mita have both been trying to text you and you haven't not once tried to have a conversation with either of them. And then when you finally have a conversation with them, all you do is scream and holler like a ratchet bitch that hasn't matured. I just cannot understand. Notice Spice can never have a conversation with anybody without hollering. And every time that she hollers, it's usually in situations where she's wrong. Every time. It's her history on this show. So I'm just looking at it like that's the part for me that's bothersome. Like you almost died and this is how you're behaving. Even if you don't have a point and choose to be mad at Carly on some bullshit, can you have a conversation like an adult, Grace? Or are we just gonna holler and scream?
and not
Uh,
make any sense behind it.
it
That's what she's doing. She's hollering and screaming and then not making any sense behind it because once again, what are you mad at? What the fuck is your problem?
it gives
Like,
fake storyline, and if it's
yeah, it
not,
doesn't
then
make
you're
sense.
ungrateful, Spice. But it
Yeah,
doesn't look good for you either way. If it's real, you look ungrateful. If it's and if not, then ugh.
yeah, that's how I
I'm
feel.
like, is she gonna drag this the whole season?
Absolutely, and I will fast forward
And
her
then
scene.
she puts, we see at the next episode at the table, Mita and was that Shekinah or
Yeah,
somebody was at the
it was
table.
Mita,
I
Shekinah, and
almost died.
Carly.
And you guys can't get along. Yeah, you almost died. Carly Rae was there for you. And you two can't get along, but you want to say that to them. So is that what you're gonna do all season? I almost died. I almost died. At this point, Spice, looking like you using your medical situation and your death as a reason and way to act a
To
fool
be
on
an
the show
asshole,
and
yeah.
to have a storyline. And God don't like ugly, and he will handle you accordingly. It's just not okay. It's not okay. Carly's at least tried to come with receipts. What has Spice tried to come with? Can we get a receipt, Spice? You say that this is happening with phone calls and stuff, but she's not showing call logs. She's not showing text messages. She's not showing screenshots. Spice, Where are the receipts? You're just going off on the cameras, floating along with the big donkey. You just floating on with no receipts. At least Carly tried to give receipts, and when Rashida wouldn't accept her receipt, she called a realtor. It's like I just don't understand the bullshit with it. So then, as we fast forward through this scene or go through it, um, Spice, in my opinion, also showed her true colors because she starts saying, "I never trust her. Everything I have, she wants that I have. And and that's why if I get a man, I know have that bitch around her. I can't trust her around them too." So now you're insinuating that your friend's a hoe and all these other things. So your issue is you think that Carly was being fake and lying, but not in a way that harmed you. So your response to that, to your sister, is to start calling her a hoe and saying you can't trust her around your man and all this stuff. So now you're basically painting her character for something negative. And based on what you're saying was done to you, no matter how I feel about it or not, which I don't think shit was done to Spice, but based on what she's saying was done to her, it doesn't warrant calling Carly all types of hoes and making these statements. So it's like, girl, now you really are the bully that you were trying to say that you're not from last week, that people were calling you. Because what you don't realize, Spice, is the bigger a liar, the bigger a bully, the bigger that regular people like us will see through the bullshit. So that's really it with Spice. Do you have any comments to add, or do you want to
Nope,
move
I asked the
on?
two questions that I'm waiting for her to answer. That's how I put it.
Yeah, James is like, I just want her to answer what Carly did to her without bringing up other bullshit. And that's the other note I put in the interviews, the scenes from episodes, the stuff she says to people, and what's being said online when she's commenting. Your story doesn't add up, Spice. It doesn't add up. First, you were mad about this, then it was about the Grammy, then it was like being fake. But I'm like, what about her submitting a Grammy with both of your names on it? Not just hers. What about that is messy or fake? I don't get it. So I stand with James. Please tell us what
Yeah,
Carly
yeah.
Red
Please
did
tell
to
us what it.
you.
At this
Give us
point,
a sentence.
yes. Like I don't want to have to wait to the reunion because then I'm not going to give a fuck anymore. So yes, let us know what she
She's
did,
not going to
and
tell us
then
at the
no, she's not going to tell
reunion.
us. I know she's
Yeah.
not going to tell us.
And when she
I know
gets
it's not
booed
going to
by
make
the
sense.
fans at the reunion for bullshitting or called out by the host, I think she's just going to start yelling, "I don't care what anybody thinks about me because I guarantee it, you guys.
Absolutely, I
I,
agree.
I guarantee it." Anywho, so moving on from that crazy scene, we go back to the South by Southwest thing. We see Amy and Chaotic, Cupcake and Samo. Um, Erica, I guess a little scrappy. People don't remember his rapper music because he was outside on the fake stage with the rest of them. So we see him performing. Erica pulls him aside. She talks to him. The way that she talked to him, to me, it wasn't appropriate. It wasn't necessary, especially knowing Mama D. The way that Erica came, crying at the end of it. Look, all I know is Scrap denied having sex with Diamond in a confessional. You have to have sex in order for somebody to get pregnant. All right, whatever. Erica, to me, at this point, is giving a woman who was hurt so bad and scorned so bad that she's going to be that bitter woman who now just like has beef with men, like as a whole, because
It's
it
given that, and it's given working extra hard to make sure she maintains her peach on this show as well, because them Tubi movies is really typecasting her right now. So maybe it's best if you know she continues that on this Love and Hip Hop franchise. And a part of me's not mad at her, but at the same time, it's like Erica, I'm so sick of looking at you in this shit.
mm,
Like for real, I am so sick of looking at you perpetrating this bullshit just because your storyline with your ex-husband is no longer in void, despite you two both still being on this show. I
mm.
don't want to look at you all up in these people's business
It's
and
kind of
just for no reason.
insulting because with
Yeah,
Erica, you bring up a good point. Every time she gets in a relationship, she acts like she's too good for love and hip hop and leaves. When she got with Safari, she did it. When she got with Bow Wow, she did it. When she got with Rich, she wasn't really in everybody's business. She was just, oh, it's me and Rich and this and
yeah,
that.
and then
So I don't.
Yeah, and then now all of a sudden you now are so worried about Bambi that you're going to go ahead and confront him because even if he was having a baby, what the fuck could you do about
Right. My
it?
thing
So it's
is,
like it's
I
so weird.
understand her wanting to defend Bambi because Bambi was really there for her
I
when
don't.
she went through it, but
No, I
not
don't.
to this
Not
extent.
like this.
When
It'd be
my
different.
friends choose to leave their spouses, I'm not going to go have a conversation with their spouse saying, "If do you love her? Save your marriage." And I'm not going to do that. If
No,
my
no, no,
friend
no.
tells
The
me
only
they're
time I feel like this is appropriate for Erica to do what she did if Scrappy was whooping her ass. That's the only way I would feel different about this. Other than that, no. I don't
yeah,
give a fuck
no,
about no
yeah,
baby. I don't give a fuck about him being back with Diamond. I don't give a fuck about any of it. If he was cheating, I don't give a fuck about any of that. If he was not whooping Bambi's ass, there is no reason why you need to be in this man's face right now with this bullshit. That his mama, who we all know is messy, and says that, and it's local as hell. But the problem is, see, and that's why I say, Erica, I'm sick of you and this bullshit in MTV. I don't know why y'all didn't just recast this whole fucking franchise if y'all were gonna take it, because this shit is stupid. It is stupid the fact that she was in this man's face hollering like that. It was really
yeah.
stupid.
Erica, she needs healing. I don't want to see her on the show. Erica Mena on this show doesn't, to me,
She
blend.
doesn't fit. Yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't
I'm kind
fit.
of
She didn't fit
tired
when
of
she was in
Mena.
New York.
I think the Mena era is over. We just don't care anymore. I really don't care anymore. Mena, she can go. Rashida can go. Yandy can go. I don't know why any of those three were brought
Yandy is
back.
still on the show.
Yes, she's in the cast photo. If you look in the thumbnail, Yandy is absolutely still a part of the show.
Mona, why you just didn't pay Yandy the money that you owed her so we can stop looking at
And
her? I can
Mona's
go
still
sit
an executive producer on the show. I was reading the
just
credits
pay
earlier.
Yandy what you owe her and then just cut ties because Yandy does not bring anything
Make
to the
Yandy an
show.
executive producer, then we'll
If
have
we
some
gonna see
drama
Yandy, let
come from
Yandy let ain't the oldest boy 18 now, Lil Mendices. Let him be
almost.
a cast let him be a cast member on the show, then you can follow behind him. Like I don't want to see Yandy no more. I
Yeah, I
really
think
don't.
they keep trying to bring back people because they want to keep some OGs of
No,
the
I
show.
know what,
And then
yeah,
with
and
Yandy,
that's
she
the
has the
thing.
special treatment. But I'm like, why? But that was pretty much all that happened throughout this episode to y'all who watched. It was a hot mess express. I will definitely agree and say that we'll be back next week with another live. I am getting to the end of college and have been interviewing for jobs, so some of these schedules may change whenever somebody hire my black ass. Um, but until then, we should be back to do another Love and Hip Hop recap next week, likely the same time. Keep in mind, all the opinions that we give are just opinions. We don't know these people. We can't say for certain if they are a certain way. We can't even determine, really, as an audience, any of us, what's real and what's put on for the show. So these are opinions. Let's not attack each other in the comments. If you want to do that, go to Instagram. I don't want it. But other than that, for those who are consistent watchers of the Mrs. Best review page, we will have a song review on July 12th. And if you want to watch more today, I'm going to be going over to James's channel, which you will see on your screen now. And we would love it if you would subscribe to him as well, because we do all of our TV recaps together. So that's a beneficial thing. And we are going to recap the last episode of MTV's Couples Retreat.
Let me hold on because that's on my channel. We are not recapping that. We are going to play a game
Oh.
and we are going to talk about why I feel the way that I feel based on the questions that are going to be asked. Because I don't care about that show anymore. And I will not be bringing it back on my channel anymore. That was it.
Well, you have heard him, but come on over. Either way, you can watch us play a game, sip some wine, smoke, watch us, whatever you do on the channel. So I appreciate everybody for watching. I think you're all awesome. Thug Life will be back next week and on the 12th for a song review. So good afternoon. Goodbye.